Oh, hello, people. My name is Kale Boss. The only boss. Oh, wait, what else? Have you heard? Wait, do you know that Taptap Send is live in Texas? Oh, you didn't know? We went to New York. Now we are live in Texas. So people in Texas and around, all you have to do is to download Taptap Send. Yes, Taptap Send has become the most unique, secure, and fast way of sending money across the world to your loved ones anywhere. Okay, so download Taptap Send on Google Play Store or App Store, and when you're in Texas or around, you just have to put in the code TXGH. What did I say? TXGH, and you get $10 for your first transaction you make. Mahama media, Texas, you drew ho. Very soon we'll conquer everywhere. Download Taptap Send now on Google Play and App Store. Taptap Send, it's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
Everybody check now. Check it. Fa check it. Fa check it. Check it. The beat is real. Don't will make it kill ya. Get your green select glucometer and check it. Sugar level, check it, check it. Fa check it, check it. Fa check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Green select glucometer, check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Put sugar level, fa check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Fa check it, fa check it, check it, check it. Green select glucometer. Everybody check now.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
There are some people in the industry, at every point in time, I wish that they should be handling some of the critical issues that the industry is faced with. And I'm talking about those people with influence. I'm talking about those people with power. I'm talking about those people whose voices travel miles just for the industry to achieve what it aims to achieve. And one of such persons is Shatta Wale, aka Charles Nyama Mensah. And I can also make mention of people like Sarkodie, Stoneboy, Sammy, and a couple of them. And here I'm talking about the new generation kind of musicians and those who are leading the agenda. If you are talking about the new generation arts in today's generation, those who are leading the music industry, take it or leave it. Whether you also want to believe in the Gen Z factor or not. These guys, their reign, their influence, their impact in the music industry cannot be underrated. Therefore, anytime I see them speaking up on some issues, I become so happy. Personally, I enjoy listening to some of these people when they go for interviews, be it radio, TV, online, or however. Because when they sit on interview platforms, the kind of experience they share, the kind of insights that they have, the kind of information that they have to their credit. If you're an artist, you have a hit song, within 5, 3, 4 years, you will not have that experience. And I believe in one thing, experience is very expensive. If you have been listening to me, I'm sure this will not be the first time you will be hearing me say this, that experience is very, very expensive. Therefore, when I come across people who have experience, I really doff out my hat for them, because really and truly, it takes a lot of input and effort to be experienced in this our space. So today, in this editorial, my interest is going to be on a post that I've chanced on Facebook, shared or posted or published by Charles Nyama Mensah's page, aka Shatta Wale's page. That is his official Facebook page. That is what he has shared this information on. And I'm going to read exactly what a gentleman has said. Then I'll also add my commentaries, reviews to it. Again, I've read some commentaries under the posts, and some of them, the more I read them, the more I laugh, because I know Ghanaians are like that. Because we know you to be drinking this bottle of water. Even when you are dying, that you need a sip of water to be fine, and there's another water brand, you say that, oh, because it is not this, so let me die. Meanwhile, you've forgotten that when you take that one from that brand and you get life, the life will give you more opportunities to continue drinking your favorite Verna water. But in Ghana, it is not like that. The ordinary Ghanaian assumes that as much as you have said this before, as much as you've been saying this forever and ever, keep saying it. That's how the ordinary Ghanaian thinks. So somebody will come like, oh, but Sammy Flex, you have been saying that underground artists should not do this. If I said that some years ago, today, I study the environment, I study around, and I realize that no, this is outdated. We have to update it with this one. Why should there be an issue? No, but the Ghanaians, but why are you saying we should do this now? Are you not the one who said that's how people are? Therefore, I know that sometimes it even makes some of these top people who are supposed to contribute to the national music discourse, they shy away from it. Yes, they don't want to talk about it because in you coming to talk about it, one thing is for real. The fact that many people are going to say, why you said this before, you did this before, you have been doing this before. So because you've been doing this and that before, the moment you come into the picture, nothing should make sense to them. That's how sometimes they make it look. I have something that I want to read from Shatta Wale to you on his timeline, and you might have seen it already. If you have not seen it, no problem. We're going to read it and also share some of our understanding on the particular post that he did. And that is what I want you guys to know. This is the editorial here on Sammy Flex TV, and I'm surely doing this with Digital Rasta. He's also called Currency, who is doing camera for us, and Richie Flex is the editor-director of the show. If you're out there, you just have to relax and enjoy the quality content that we have for you here. And in case you also want to watch more of our content, what you have to do is to make sure you are subscribing to our channel on YouTube, that is Sammy Flex TV. Today, if you do that, you are sure going to be able to see more of our content. Meanwhile, Taptap Send is still here with us. So maybe you live abroad, and I know this time around, so many people will be coming home in terms of Ghana for the Christmas holidays and more. If you live abroad and you have to be sending money back home so people can do things for you before you even touch down, remember, there's only one app that can help you do this, and that app is Taptap Send, T-A-P-T-A-P, then you send. That is the key. Get it today. Taptap Send. Use the promo code SammyFlex. Put in your bank details and make sure at every point in time, every detail you are going to use in making this business is legit. And again, it is something that you never forget easily. I want everybody to note this. Now, let's move on. And we are moving on to this post made by Shatta Wale. That is what we're going to do. I'm going to read. The post, as at 1 hour ago when he wrote it, or when he published it, has gotten 189 comments. And it tells you how people are really interested in the post and the kind of conversation that it has started. 181 comments, 39 shares. And this is just in 1 hour. This is just in 1 hour. It tells you how powerful he is, and again, how powerful whatever he posted or whatever he shared is. Now let's read it. It says, thinking aloud on a Tuesday afternoon. Thinking aloud on a Tuesday afternoon. Once we say someone is thinking aloud, what it simply means is that whatever thoughts that are running through his mind, he cannot keep it in the brains alone. He has to share. Whatever thinking that he is doing, he cannot keep it alone. He has to share. That is what he meant by thinking aloud on a Tuesday afternoon. Of course, today is Tuesday. When you go out there, the sun is really scorchy here in Ghana. For some days now, the sun has been firing. And now let's read. It says, I write this with deep concern about the challenges that have prevented major global music industries from investing and partnering with our beloved industry in Ghana. It is clear that the lack of conducive policies, infrastructure, and resources have hindered our growth and potential on the international stage. We must urgently address this by improving regulatory frameworks, investing in modern infrastructure, and strengthening intellectual property rights and licensing. It is time for us to work together to create an enabling environment that attracts major global investment and propels our music industry to unprecedented heights, contributing to our national identity and economy. Now, the last paragraph also reads, let us rally together as stakeholders in the Ghanaian music industry and collaborate to join the doors of opportunity for our industry. By any means necessary, we need to put in efforts to make sure our music is heard globally as Ghanaians. Let's act now and fast. This is what Shatta Wale has just said. And personally, I'm reading this with some feeling of contentment in that this is the conversation our industry should be having. Unfortunately, we are not interested. When all these major platforms put together panel members and what have you, pundits, when all these major platforms put together all these people to sit on round tables to speak about the industry on both TV, radio, and online, sometimes I wish this kind of subject would come on board for them to discuss so people can profess solutions, even if those who are in the helm of affairs don't have the solutions. But unfortunately, we are not seeing it like that. We are not seeing it like that. It says, I write this with deep concern about the challenges that have prevented major global music industries from investing and partnering with our beloved industry. Of course, Shatta Wale is worried. He's worried because I'm sure now, as an artist, he sits down and he looks around to see some of his colleagues, not only from Ghana, but I'm talking about those who are outside of Ghana, how they are being pushed, how their careers are seeing some growth, how some things are happening to them, not because they are talented or they are more talented than these our Ghanaian artists are. It is because they've gotten some opportunities to fly higher, because they've gotten some partnerships to fly higher, because they've gotten some collaborations to fly higher. I am sure this is what was running through his mind, where he says, I write this with deep concern about the challenges that have prevented major global music industries from investing and partnering with our beloved industry in Ghana. It is clear that the lack of conducive policies, infrastructure, and resources have hindered our growth and potential on the international stage. Let me get it again. It is clear that the lack of conducive policies, infrastructure, and resources have hindered our growth and potential on the international stage. And this is where, personally, I'm interested in. Forget about any other thing that you are seeing or any other thing that you saw in this. One of my special interests lies here, where he says, it is clear that lack of conducive policies, infrastructure, and resources have hindered our growth on potential our growth and potential on the international stage. As it stands now, it is what it is. That is why some of our top artists make all the noise that they have to make, connect as much as they want to connect, yet we are still lagging behind when it comes to the numbers game. Yet, the Ghanaian song is not being listened to heavily if you look at the global scale. If you want to only look at Ghana, then you'll be fine. Because, of course, about 80% who are in this country and they are music consumers, they know who they want to consume. But unfortunately for us, that number is limited at the moment. That number is being circulated. The people are being circulated. The best you can do is to hit any of these international markets. And to hit any of these international markets, it doesn't come cheap. It is not a fluke. It is really, really expensive. That's why Shatta Wale is asking that. How come that despite all the talent we have here in Ghana, how come we are not getting some of these people in the name of investors to come and deal with our music industry and the people in it. How? Why are they not coming? And I'm sure this is the conversation. But as usual, our industry, sometimes they don't come across like they're interested in some of these conversations. Now, let's continue reading what he said. It says, we must urgently address this by improving regulatory frameworks, investing in modern infrastructure, and strengthening intellectual property rights and licensing. And that is what it means. That is what it simply means. That we can do this. But how are we building our infrastructure? Are we doing the same thing that has been going on? How are we building our intellectual property? How are we doing it? If at this stage, the industry does not know how to go about this, then that is what the gentleman is saying, that then we all have to act fast and now. It says, it is time for us to work together to create an enabling environment that attracts major global investment and propels our music industry to unprecedented heights. And when he wrote this, there were so many people who felt that, now is he really talking about collaborations and all that? And for information, Shatta Wale has been talking collaboration since. I remember when he came back from Miami some time ago, in his State of the Industry address, he mentioned some of these things he's talking about. But I'm sure maybe now he sits back and goes like, wow, looks like whatever we are chasing for or whatever we want to see is not happening for our industry after all. So how do we do it? Maybe let me add my voice to this and we should be fine. Maybe let me add my 2 cents to this and it will be fine. I'm sure that is where we've got into that. Hey, Charlie, the thing, our boys are doing well. They have the talent. They have the songs. They've done everything possible that they are supposed to do as talent. What is left is with the next organization with the huge financial muscle to come and carry them on their shoulders, and they are gone. Now, when you start any global music conversation, it is Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. Hate it or like it. That is how it is. Start any music conversation globally, and it is Nigeria this, Nigeria this, Nigeria that. I'm sure all these things are contributing to the post from Shatta Wale. And it says, let me see, he said, it is time for us to work together to create an enabling environment that attracts major global investment and propels our music industry to unprecedented heights, contributing to our national identity and economy. So he has even added himself that we all have to do it. We all have to come together and make sure that we get it right. And the last thing that I am really interested in, he says, let's act now and fast. Let's act now and fast. And he adds that by any means necessary, we need to put in efforts to make sure our music is heard globally as Ghanaians. When you go out there as a Ghanaian artist, when you go out there as someone who is a believer of the industry, you know that the market is tight for our people. In fact, nobody should throw any dust in the eyes of the public that, oh, to him there, he is this, he is that. No, it's not like that. We are yet to see who. How is government helping this? Those who are even at the helm of affairs when it comes to our industry, those who are heading some of these, our institutions, like the Gamros, the Musica, the Actors Guild, and all those communities, how are they all helping to get this done? Because I'm sure if, say, we give Minister of Roads and Transport, we give a portfolio to someone like that, one thing we know the person does is they start looking for funding to undertake projects. They start looking for money to execute projects. They comb all over. And at any point in time that we've seen some of these things, we become happy that, The government of Ghana went for this to improve agriculture. The government of Ghana went for this to improve what? Healthcare. The government of Ghana went for this to improve. Like, it goes on like that. In the music industry, when are we also going to admit that we also need some of these people to come? It could be any of the major DSPs, like the Apple Music, the Sony Music, the Atlantics, and all those names. Now, most of them, I'm sure we all know that they'll even be comfortable planting an office in Nigeria than in Ghana. And we all know why, because Nigeria is providing them with the numbers. And that is how it is. This particular story, I know that this is not what the industry is interested in. Sometimes our industry is just interested in the leaving the juice, the real juice of the issues unattended to. And it is the same thing Shatta Wale has suggested in this particular piece. That, guys, the way we are running late, if you don't get up, we are doomed. The way we are running late, if you don't get up, we are doomed. We have to work fast and now. Why is it like that? So many talented people in this industry, yet the people who are supposed to hold them down, push them so they can travel the world, they are not there, because it is either some key people are still sitting on some information or some deals, and they are just allowing those who are doing it to just struggle, or they are not doing it at all. So if you're a musician, you have to find your own head. If you're a musician, you have to look for your own survival. I came to preach peace to you. The message is still there on the timelines of Charles Nyama Mensah, and it's still talking about the fact that our industry is struggling to attract, or it is struggling to get some of these major investments, global investment into our game, so that we can also upgrade to a certain level. Now, many Ghanaian artists are independent artists. Many Ghanaian artists, they are independent artists. And how far can you go? Especially if you are even a newbie. If you are starting, how far can you go? And until we start talking about some of these conversations, we will still struggle. We have to be bold. We have to be hard and talk about this. In fact, at every point in time, we need to be able to face the bull by the horn. And it will start from us, the showbiz people. There is no way a politician will go and sit in some meetings and mention you entirely like that. No, unless there is a deal. And if there is no deal, then it means that we all can look sharp and look for a solution for this. Because if the solution hits hard, it will affect everybody. It will affect everybody in the ecosystem. Everybody will be affected. Like that. We will all be down. And some people who have the strength will surely run. They will jackpot. So as it stands now, we are seeing major label influence on some artists. We are seeing how far they are going. We are seeing how they are ruling the world. It is because there is someone sitting somewhere who is pumping some good amount of money to sustain that particular movement. If you are in Ghana and you are not there yet, you feel the frustration. And I'm sure in reading Shatta Wale's post, the fact that he's calling for an action to be taken, I also feel, wow, when he thinks about it as a Ghanaian musician, there is some frustration here and there. And that is what I want everybody to know. It is like that. Let's pay attention to details. Let's ignore those who are saying, oh, he did not write it, and those who are saying, oh, why are you saying this now? Oh, those who are saying, oh, but we've been talking about this with you, and we've been saying this, and they don't. Yes, there is time for everything. At every point in time, something new happens, and everybody should just get it right. Well, let's end it here. This is the editorial. Let's take the message. It is a good message, and I want to believe when we push it harder, it will go and impact on those who are supposed to take some of these decisions for us to make some cool thing. Then we can also do our part for our industry. My name is Sammy Flex. Special thanks to Digital Rasta Currency. And I also have Richie Flex here as my director and producer, where Currency doubles as the man in charge of camera. Remember that we are always giving you what you need. Stay tuned. I'll be back.